So let's have a little chat about the ethics of hypnosis. In many respects, the ethics of hypnosis are really the same as the ethics of everyday life. Why? Because you can influence people without hypnosis. You can ask them to do things, you can force them to do things, you can frighten them to do things, you can encourage them to do things, you can induce them to do things with rewards. So just because you're using hypnosis doesn't mean that we leave our ethical considerations on the side. In fact, in many senses, you can probably force people to do things that they don't want to do more easily in a normal scenario using social forces and so on than you would be able to do it inside of a hypnotic context. However, with hypnosis, there is one big difference to the way that you might interact with someone on a normal social way, and that is the intensity of the relationship. The great hypnotist Milton H. Erickson once said that hypnosis is anything but a casual relationship. And we've got to make sure we keep that in mind. Think of hypnosis as a really, really strong friendship with the other person's, the subject's unconscious mind, which is the deepest part of their experience. And that must be paid attention to very carefully. In the same way as you cultivate your friendships and you look after your friends, and you go out of your way to make sure your friends know that your intent is a positive one for them, we need to do the same thing with the unconscious mind. If you make the unconscious mind a promise and then break that promise, well, it's a lot worse. Think of it this way. Think of a friend, a really close friend betraying you, and think of a relative stranger betraying you. Which of those affects you more? The relative stranger annoys you, but then you just cut them off and you move on. There's no problem. But when it's a close friend, oh no, getting that trust back is going to be 100 times harder. It's going to cut 100 times deeper. And the blowback from that will be 100 times worse precisely because of the relationship you had. So, in terms of ethical considerations, think of your subject's unconscious mind as your very best friend and treat them like that to make sure that none of this blowback that we've talked about ever comes your way.